Welcome to the Stream with Guardian, and today we're going to be going over a new build of mine. It is called Heart of Bastion. Now, before you think of it, it's not involving the Bastion fusion rifle. It's actually involving the new Void 3.0 subclass changes. Now, as follows, it is an elemental well build that includes Heart of Inmost Light inside the build. It is a PvE focused build. You can use this in PvE, but you have to find another way to generate elemental wells in PvE, in PvP, and I don't think that's possible because it'd be insanely broken. Of course, it has Bastion, which is for food for the schism between allies and enemies. Protect those close to you with a barrier of distilled time. Cast your super to grant overshield to nearby allies. Casting your barricade grants overshield to yourself and nearby allies and empowers it, enabling it to slowly regenerate, and that's important, all of your shield of allies, bunkering behind it, and extend their overshield duration. It should be hunkering behind it, not bunkering. That English is, it's whatever. It's, I have to nitpick. And then it also involves controlled demolition. The seed of the unknown, which sprouts into yawning absence, sustains your allies with the destruction of those who oppose you. Hitting a target with void ability or volatile explosion makes them volatile. Further damage to the volatile target causes them to explode. Grants you and your nearby allies health when volatile targets explode near you. Now, this is really, really important. With the vortex grenade, it constantly applies a volatile pull. It causes them to become volatile, detonates, then proceeds to cause them to become volatile again if it's a boss. Now, what we have is Echo of Undermining. Your Void Grenades weaken targets, minus 20 discipline. So, with this build, if I was to take this off, I would have 888. So I would have near triple hundreds on this build's near perfect. But I technically can get away with it because I have Heart of Inmost Light. Your Void Grenades weaken targets. So this is important because these three things come into play. You got, they're not only debuffed, but they are also on a constant source of damage and going volatile at the same time. It adds that extra chip damage in. Void ability, Final Blast, cause the target to explode. And again, which causes other things to become volatile, which then chains everything, which gives you health. And then we have Echo Remnants. Your lingering grenade effects, Vortex Grenade, Void Wall, Void Spike, Axiom have increased duration. So the amount of time that this is up is increased. So everything is around the grenade and our abilities, which is in PvE. Now, it is an elemental well build, as I said. It involves Reaping Wellmaker, which again, if you pop your barricade, you get a next final blow on a combatant, pops an elemental well. You have Well of Tenacity for ×3 resistance for a period of time. You have Elemental Charge, which every time you pick up an elemental, ding ding ding, you get charged with light, then goes into protective light, then which follows by elemental ordnance. All the synergy going into this, the amount of time that you can get your abilities back is quite insane, and I will quickly demonstrate that by going to a planet. This was recorded live, so you're going to have to forgive the style that I'm doing this in. But we're going to quickly take a trip to Savathun's Throne World, excuse me, sorry. And we're going to go ahead and show you this build firsthand. Now, we're going to have to find a flag, because I would like to. Well, there you go, there's a flag right there. I'm just going to mark it. Again, this build is fantastic. It also plays into this parasite launcher is quite absolutely busted. It's pretty awesome. So we're going to quickly go get the flag. There's enemy meters nearby, which is perfect. Alright, we got everything. We've got everything that we need to show you this build. Now, first off, we're going to send it explosions. It's great. There's an elemental well, which the damage resistance is quite nutty. I'm also charged with light, so we're just gonna let them dip below. Come on, shooting me. There you go. Resist. You're low. Quick. There you go. Now we're gonna throw our barricade. Not our barricade. Our shield, which then causes us to have our grenade back. We're then going to charge that. We have an empowered barricade. We're now getting our barricade back. We pop it again, which causes our melee to become empowered. And if there's an ad nearby, which there is up here, if we can get it in time, we can get our grenade to be reprocced again, which then causes our barricade to become procced and then boom. As I said, it is a whole lot of ability spam. It is absolutely fantastic. You have overshield, constant generation, and all you need to do is cause damage to an opposing target. It was a horrible shield toss. Either way, we can still make that back. We have empowered melee, and look how fast it's charging, which is why you technically don't need anything else. Because by the time it's about to end, you have an empowered barricade, again, for 7 whole seconds, which then pop, your shield, overshield, is still there. And then pop. Your abilities the uptime on the ability is insane. And if there's an enemy nearby, I still have my melee to trigger it. Everything is perfect. Now, there is, if you mess up, you can always just pop your barricade in again and quickly recharge your abilities and get some kills, and there you go. And the reason why you want to get your barricade fast is for the elemental well build, which is in turn allows you to keep slaying out. Since they have reduced the amount of time your super is active, you dealing damage to opponents and killing ads is what gets you your super back, which allows you to either generate orbs, provide a safe place for somebody to come around and walk out. I can freely walk out, and that's what separates this from, let's say, well, you have to be inside of it. I can walk in and out and kind of travel around. It gives me more freedom and mobility. If something rushes in, I can jump out and still have the 20%, 25% increase in damage. Now, they did nerf it. It is unfortunate. But the reason why they did nerf it is because you can stack a debuff and a buff. You throw that, it causes the opponent to become weak. You're then charged with light, which causes you to do even more damage, which would absolutely be busted if they kept it at 35%. Which, if everything kind of boils down to, if you're going to do rough math, the debuff is probably somewhere between 15 and 20%. Don't quote me on that because I don't know exactly how much it is. All I know is it's usually around there. The buff, which is the weapons light, is 25%. Alright, if it was 35%, you add, let's say if it is 20, it would come to a total of 55% buff and damage, which would be absolutely busted, right? It would be absolutely busted. Instead, it's 45%. It is still, it would be what you would normally happen in a well, because you have the debuff and you have the buff, which is why Particle D and Divinity stacked last season, because a buff, the cage, and a debuff stack, but a buff and a buff don't. It goes by highest ascending, and the highest ascending order. So if Weapons of Light was still 35%, you would have the 35% buff first, and then it would drop down to 25, which is what it was last season. But now it's 25-25. It's even, so it doesn't matter what you do, but I still like Bubble because it is still viable. It's just you don't have the big energy damage like you used to. This is the build. You can go ahead and hit that follow, hit that like and subscribe button for more Destiny 2 content. As I said, we are coming back. We are putting stream videos out there, so keep notice. I will say that if you want to come follow me on Twitch, I do stream on Twitch daily, and that is XGC Gaming X, as in my YouTube channel. And as always, you have a wonderful day, and that's all, folks.